Let's see what's in the old box this month. Blimey, it's bulging. Hello and welcome to my channel, and it's that time of the month again when I do a end of month bot haul. So what did I get this month? Yeah, it's been a bumper haul this month, and yet I haven't spent up to my full budget, so it's been quite a good month. Got a massive table full of plastic crack here that I want to share with you. Now before I get into this video, there's a lot of stuff I want to put into this video. There's a number of video clips of when I was out and about, and I took some video clips and I want to put them in. There's a couple of pictures I want to put in, and there's a lot of things I want to do with this particular video. I'm trying a slightly different arrangement on my my lighting rig. I've sort of swapped them over, so I've got this one over here and this one over here, and we'll see how it goes. This video might be kind of long. There's a good chance it will go over an hour, but I'm going to try and get through it as best I can. So, yes, May, last day of the month, sort of. Yeah, last day of the month, and so what did I get? Right, so, yeah, 24 items. 24 items to get through. Let's make a start. Right, the first item that arrived was some pre-ordered items that I placed in March with TFS Express. And they were for the final 2 packs from the Unique Toys YM, Palm Collection series. So I've got YM04, No Minds and Unhappy. No Minds and Unhappy. So that's their Legend Scale Highbrow and Legend Scale Ape Face. And also arriving the same day, we got Night and Day. So we've got Cerebros and Snapdragon. Now, I bought into these guys initially because, well, I can't reach them. They're too high up on the top shelf. Because they had done versions of characters that I was character mold set collecting, which was Weird Wolf and Skullcruncher. And also Brainstorm. So I later decided to collect Brainstorm characters, figures. Yeah, so I quite like these figures, so I decided to get the entire line, and these are the latest offerings. Now, obviously, Highbrow and Cerebros, fairly straightforward, fairly basic figures, really cool. These Unique Toys, Palm Collection figures, I suppose if you could compare them to, I don't know, Iron Factory, figures, they're not quite as detailed or as intricate. They're a little bit more, a bit more plain, but they do pretty much homage the G1 really well. And these 2 figures are really good. I mean, obviously he turns into a head for Fort Max, and he turns into a twin rotor helicopter. But these guys, again, really cool. Again, like the others, they're really neat little figures in their own right, made out of a nice dense plastic, fairly ingenious transformations, really cool figures. Then you get onto the Horrorcons. Triple changes. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I really like Knight. I've got him in robot mode. He's a bit of a challenge to get to plane or dragon mode, but when you get to plane or dragon mode, switching between plane and dragon mode is like dead easy. You have to flip a few things, and oh look, it's a dragon. Oh look, it's a plane. Really cool. A little bit more involved getting him into robot mode. And then there's Ape Face or Unhappy. Yeah, so here he is in his gorilla mode. Now the funny thing is, Unique Toys, they've changed the packaging. I mean, this is what the packages look like now. They're a different style to the previous packaging, and they've only got like the number 4 on the front, or 4 or 5. They haven't got like the YM04, YM05. And you look on the back, they've only got pictures of 2 of the modes for the triple changes. So, and well, I like to transform them without instructions, and I did this by looking at a picture of 8 Face, but it works really well. And again, you can transform them into the robot mode fairly easily, but it's a bit more difficult to get him into the plane mode. So 2 out of the 3 modes, it's easy to switch between the 2, but when you go into the 3rd mode, it's a little bit more involved. But it's the same for both of these. But they are really cool figures, and I especially like this guy. This guy is blooming excellent. He is awesome. I really, really love him. So they were the first couple of bits that arrived. This month, moving along. Right. Yeah, I decided to go uptown. I was going uptown to see Lisa at Spartown Comics to get a comic, and I just so happened to go into the Entertainer because it's in the town centre. I go uptown and go into the town centre, and it's a bloody good job I did, because Entertainer had got some sort of sale on, and I went in there and I had a look through the figures, and it goes, oh look. They've got Battle Trap, they've got, Battle Slash and Road Trap. Now, normally, Entertainer are asking either 11 or 14 quid each for these guys, and I refuse to pay that price for a Legends figure. However, as I saw they had both of them in, and I noticed they'd reduced the prices on all the other figures except the Legends classes. So I took them up to the counter and said, can you do a price check on these, please? Yes, certainly, sir. £8.25 each. I thought, you beauty, I'll have those then. Yeah, £8.25 each, £16.50 for the pair. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, brilliant. Cool engineering on these, really cool. Obviously, where is it? I've got the G1. So yeah, I've got the G1 figure. Really cool. The helicopter mode on Battle Slash isn't that bad when you actually got it in hand. This guy's kind of fiddly to transform because he's got an awful lot of joints, and he basically splits in half to become a pair of trousers. So yeah, but really cool engineering, and that's the main reason why I got them. They're awesome. But anyway, I'll show you a little bit more about that, price, that sale that the Entertainer was doing, and a little clip later on. So yeah, so I got those, and then obviously went to see Lisa Spartown Comics and got the final issue of Visionaries versus Transformers, or Transformers versus Visionaries. Yeah, they've sort of wound it up quite nicely. A couple more characters died, but as we all know, the IDW comic line is coming to an end in a couple of months' time. So at the end of the day, does it really matter what's going on here? Yeah, but great comic, interesting series. It's good to see the Visionaries, getting some comic time again, even though I wasn't really into the Visionaries in the first place. I know they made changes. They messed around with some of the characters a little bit, like Leo Rick's, a black dude with blonde dreadlocks. They just make little changes like that, but it was a decent comic. Interesting what they did, and it had links to Revolutionaries and Revolution comic and First Strike as well. So yeah, so it was all sort of intermixed, but yeah, decent comic. Then and that was all on the 4th, on Friday the 4th. We're moving along to Saturday. Now Saturday, the 5th of May, was of course Free Comic Book Day. And I decided to go down to Comic Connections in Banbury because they was having an event for Free Comic Book Day. So yeah, went over to Banbury, and obviously I parked in the multi-story car park and went through the town centre, and I saw a couple of things like this. Undead Toys R Us. Yes, sadly, a dead Toys R Us. Yeah, it was very unfortunate, but I knew there was. I'd heard that there was one in the centre, and as I was walking through on my way out to go to the comic shop, there it was, the corpse of a Toys R Us. God rest its soul. But yeah, so I thought I'd do a little clip of that, and then I went round the corner to Entertainer, and I went in and I was price checking the figures in the Entertainer in Banbury, because obviously I bought these guys in Leamington the day before for that amazing £8.25 price tag, and I wanted to see whether the shop in Banbury was doing the same, and lo and behold. Yeah, as you can see, there was doing the Legends for £8.25. There was also doing the leader classes for $39.99, which was brilliant. Even though I don't want Hot Rodimus, I want the Rodimus Unicronus, and I'm still waiting for that to come out because I've got it on pre-order from Kapow. So yeah, so did that, and then I went on through to the comic book shop and got outside, and this is how you get into the place. Yeah, so as you can see, it was pretty busy in the comic shop. There was a bunch of people in there. They had a big rack of all the free comics that you could get. I was only after one comic, Transformers Unicron, and it was great. And it was great to see Lisa and Sid was there. Sid Beckett was there as well, and Sid Beckett had some Detolfs in there full of plastic crack, and I thought, well, I bought some comics and I bought some spare cash with me, and I thought, well, let's see if I can come away from here with some plastic. So I was having a look through and I was thinking, well, the usual thing, there's stuff there that I don't want, or I've got no interest in, or I've already got. And I looked around and then I saw something and I thought, actually, yes, I do want one of those. Beast Wars Grimlock, or is it Beast Wars Neo? Anyway, yeah, so it's the repaint of the Dinobot mold in this white and black sort of camo pattern, and it's Grimlock. He was in the IDW, did some Beast Wars comics, and he actually featured in that. Now, this guy has the dreaded gold plastic, and this one is prone to breakage. And actually, when you look at it, at his legs, you can see the pegs inside there are broken. He's also missing the sword. If I can open the tail. Yeah, he's also missing the sword, so I hasn't got the sword for the tail. But it was only 10 quid, so I was quite happy with that. And yeah, so he's his hip ball joints are made out of gold plastics. When I'm transforming this, I'm being very, very careful with it because I don't want to break it. But it's another Grimlock, and I like collecting Grimlock, so he was another Grimlock, and he does turn into a dinosaur. So yeah, I decided to get that. And then I was having another look round, and I saw another figure. I'm going to give you a clue who it is. For the royalty! Yes, Inferno. It was in there. I know there is another. This mold got redone into another character later on in the line. I can't remember who it was, but this is the original Inferno from Beast Wars. As you can see, he's a big, massive red fire ant. Fairly simple transformation. He's got all his bits. Fortunately, he's got his antenna. He's got his gun. I think he's not missing the missile because his legs become missiles. So. Yeah, so he's got all his bits. He's all intact. Few loose joints, but really good condition. And how much did I pay for him? I think it was was it 15 quid? It wasn't that much anyway. It was a decent price anyway. So got him for a decent price, and obviously thanks to Sid and Lisa for putting on such a good event. And before we get any further. Yeah, so obviously I got this. This was the main reason why I went to that shop on Free Comic Book Day, was to get hold of this Transformers Unicron issue 0. Now, obviously I've said in previous videos about this thing that's going on in IDW. Reading this, I know in my previous video I went off on one saying that IDW comics are now pretty much useless and worthless and meaningless because they're all coming to an end, and Hasbro has decreed that this stuff doesn't matter and it's all getting cancelled and rebooted, blah blah blah, and all this. And I was on a bit of a downer because I thought that all this time and effort I've spent reading and reading these comics has been to waste. But then I read this, and it only sets the scene for this Unicron mini trilogy or mini series. However, my opinion of the IDW, the demise of the IDW comics has done a 180 again. It's flipped around, and I'm really, really looking forward to how they're going to finish it, because they've actually got the opportunity now to really go out with a bang, to go out, go out all fists flying. It's absolutely amazing. Can't believe it. Yeah, so I think Unicron is now going around and he's eating all the planets where the 13 ores was planted. He's taken out Toyrus, which was the Beast Wars planet. He's taken out a few others, and he's basically coming for. He's going to come to Cybertron and Earth. So I think what it seems to me is happening is that the Transformers universe is gonna wind up in a spectacular fashion where Unicron's going to come in and just chew everything up and just kill everybody. But it's going to be amazing to see what happens. So yeah, they've got this opportunity to wind this universe up that they've created in the most amazing, spectacular way fashion imaginable. And this is just a taster of what is to come. And on reading it, I thought, wow, this is amazing. And then you look on the back, it's got a checklist of all the comics when they're coming out, and you can see there Transformers Unicron 0 in May, and then it really starts kicking off in July, and then in August and September that's when they're really going to go to town. And and the issues are going in sequence, so if you want to get the whole story, you need to buy all the issues up until the end. But it's going to be amazing whatever happens, so I really, really enjoyed reading this. So yeah, so that was my little trip to Banbury on Saturday the 5th, and yeah, it was great. 6th of May. What did I do on the 6th of May? I did this.
Hello, yeah, it's Sunday the 6th of May, and Mr. Gary Chou, if you're watching, guess where I am this morning? I'm at a car boot sale. Yeah, it's the first CJ's car boot sale of the year, and I'm just doing this quick video clip just to prove that I'm actually here. First one of the year, it's a beautiful day. The place is absolutely heaving. I've never seen it so big. Car parks are overflowing. There's stalls all the way down to the end of the field. I've never seen it this big before, so hopefully I'll be able to pick something up here. Got a bit of cash in my pocket, so fingers crossed I'll be able to get something. So let's get in there.
Yes, I went car booting. And I think this is the first time I've been car booting since May last year, because May last year I did exactly the same as what I did. I went to the first, or the opening car boot sale at CJ's car boot sale, which is at the Leamington Rugby Club. CJ's is one of 2 car boot sales that are within, you know, sort of easy driving distance of where I live. The other one had been at the National Agricultural and Exhibition Centre at Stoneleigh. But CJ's only runs because it's at the rugby club, it only runs during the off season, which is between May and October. I think was it May and September? So it only runs for a couple of months. And it was the first one of the year. So I decided, you know what, I've got some spare cash. I'm going to go down to the car boot sale. So I went down. It was absolutely glorious morning. I went down there a bit later than what I should have done. And the place was absolutely heaving. There was tailbacks of people trying to get into the site. All the car park was full. There was people parking on the side of the main road. I ended up having to park, you know, a little ways down. There's a little turning that goes off down like a country lane. There's a few cottages down there, so I had to park down there and walk in. And when I got in there, wow. I've never ever seen CJ's as big as this. It went right from one end of the field right the way up to the other. It was absolutely jam-packed with stalls. I've never seen it this big. So I thought, you know, I'm actually in a good chance of getting something here. So I started walking around, and yeah. So I was walking around, and then I found something. Yeah, I found the remains of an animated Optimus Prime. And I thought, well, he's got no arms. But then I looked around in the box and, oh, look, I found an arm. Because it was in a tub full of, you know, a plastic tub full of, like, you know, die-cast cars like Matchbox or Hot Wheels cars, and loads of plastic toy bits. And I was having a dig through, and I found the other arm. So I've got more or less a complete figure. Just he's missing the head. He's missing that piece that goes over the top of the cab. He's missing the smokestacks, and he's missing the axe. Now, after I got this, I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy it, because I've got some spare parts at home to fix this guy. And so that's as I thought. So I bought it and then carried on round the car boot sale. I think I only paid about 20 pence for this, something like that. Anyway, so I got him, and I bought this because Hot Rodney Prime, Gary Churm, you know, he goes to car boot sales, and he sometimes buys junkers, because he's got a big box full of junkers, and he does that thing where he gets bits and pieces and rebuilds Transformers with bits off other bots. And I thought, well, you know, maybe I can do a Bumblebee with this figure. So, you know, I got this. So I carried on round, and then there was at the far end, the opposite end of the field, there was another guy who got a slightly more professional looking stall, and he'd got a load of vintage toys. He got some really cool stuff there, and I saw a figure there that I thought, ooh, that looks interesting. But I didn't bite straight away. I carried on going up and down the aisles until I'd satisfied myself there was nothing else on the site. So I went up, and I looked at it, and I said, so how much for that, mate? And he said 12 quid. And I thought, I had the money on me, and I thought, you know, it's a vintage toy from the 1980s. It's got a lot of die cast on it, and it's in pretty good nick. So I said, yeah, all right, I'll pay 12 quid. And so I got a Psykill. Yeah, GoBot Psykill. Now, this isn't the original Psykill. This isn't the Psykill that has the parts forming with the wheels that plug on the shoulders. No, because this guy has got a backpack where the wheels are attached to the backpack. So when you do the transformation, you've got to pull this bit out, sort of swing it round, and then bring that up, and then you plug the front wheel in, bring them back, plug the back bits in, and then you've got the motorbike. Now it's got paint chips on it, it's got the handlebars are broken, and it's got a Bandai made in Singapore 1985 copyright stamp on it. If I'd have been a little, I could have argued with I could have bartered with the bloke and got it down to like 10 or maybe 8 quid if I'd have tried, but because I hadn't seen anything else at the car boot sale apart from this incomplete thing, I thought, you know what, I'm willing to pay 12 quid for it. Now that I've got it, I'm a little bit, little bit disappointed at myself for not pushing for a better bargain. But anyway, so yeah, I got Cycle. He's pretty good. I'm a bit this transformation with the backpack and the wheels on the stems is a bit weird. But I've been doing a bit of research, and yeah, it is a later version of the toy. It's quite big, and it's got a butt ton of die cast on it. It's really heavy, and it's got rubber tyres that are in good nick. And yeah, apart from the broken handlebars and a few sort of paint chips on it, it's in pretty good nick. So yeah, so I bought him for 12 quid, and that was my car booting. And then I got this thing home, and I thought, right, let's go find those parts. Went up into the loft, and I basically turned the place upside down looking for this box of parts that I thought I had. Couldn't find it. I couldn't believe it. So then I decided, you know, I can't find this box of parts, so at least I can try and find a head for this guy. So I managed to find a box of broken bots that, you know, when I first started out as a Transformers collector, I did a lot of car boots, a lot of car booting when I went around the car boot sale, because I really wanted to build my collection up as quickly as possible, and I would buy any bot that was going. And I bought a few sort of junkers from car boot sales with the means to, you know, fix them up, but I never did. And so I found a head to fit on this guy. Darth Maul. Yeah, so I got one of the Darth Maul, you know, Star Wars crossovers figures, and the head just about fits on. So yeah, he looks like the Red Skull, doesn't he? So yeah, so this is Darth Prime, or is this Optimus Maul? Whatever you want to call it. So it's not a Bumblebee, but yeah, it's a decent figure. Now, Mr. Gary Chum, if you're watching, have you got any spares for one of these? I know you have, because it came to me later on that, you know what, I haven't got my spares anymore because I put them in a care package that I sent to Gary Chum when he bought some bots off me from the Tom Enton bot lot. So yeah, I sent all my spare parts, which included 2 legs, the top piece, and the axe. So yeah, he's got my spare parts for this. So can you help a dude out? Have you got some spare parts for this? I'm looking for a head. I'm looking for that bit that goes on the top. Obviously I need the smokestacks, and I'm not too bothered about the axe. You know, I know you said you wanted the axe for yours, so you can keep that. But yeah, so if you can help me out with some parts for this, that would be great. But for the meantime, you know, he's got another head. So yeah, did some car booting. Right, moving along. Right, next. Obviously, a couple of days later, on the 8th, Studio Series, I got another Studio Series figure. Now, I've got this guy, One Step Stinger, which was it was an exclusive figure in the US. Was it a Walmart exclusive? So I've got him. And then just recently, I managed to get hold of the Takara Stinger, which was a repaint of the Age of Extinction Bumblebee mold. So I've got him. So I've got these dudes. Now, this is a great figure, don't get me wrong. This is a really good figure, but it doesn't transform into a Pagani Weira. That's what this one does, but it's a one-step changer, so it's got very limited articulation, but it does have an awful lot of molded detail on it. So it's pretty cool in that respect. But I wanted a deluxe class figure that transformed into a Pagani Weyrat, and thanks to the Studio Series, I got my wish. So yeah, Studio Series Stinger. He transforms into the Italian supercar, which is great. He's kind of small when you put him next to an earlier deluxe, and in fact, he's about the same size as the one stepper. But yeah, decent figure. Quite a complex transformation. I quite like it. I mean, some people have been saying, oh, he's got this cleft in his chest that's a bit unsightly, but I think it's all right. Great figure. Glad I got it. I bought it off eBay for about 20 odd quid. And then then when I went up to Bury later on, I saw them on the shelf at Smith's for just over 20 quid, which made me feel a bit sick. But there you go. Yes, Smith's have got the Studio Series figures in, by the way, if you don't already know. So yeah, I got that. That was good. And next, right, now, this next one. It's a figure that, well, let's put it this way. Going back to 2014, I bought this. This is the Age of Extinction Breakout Battle Optimus Prime from the Breakout Battle box set. It was an exclusive repaint that was in one of those premium box sets. I bought it off Animatropolis because he bought the box set and he split the figures up. I paid about 36 quid for this. And I really wanted the Rusty mode, but I didn't buy it when it was on pre-order, and then the pre-order sold out and I couldn't get one. And when I did see them again, they were at ridiculous scalper prices. So I got this one, and this was my Age of Extinction Optimus. Then you probably saw a couple of months ago, I managed to get hold of the Rusty mode one. Yeah, managed to get hold of the one I really wanted. I love this one. It's absolutely amazing. I love the the rusty patina they put on this. It's just incredible. But now this is the mold colours that I like for the Age of Extinction mold. Now there's a KO company, a high-end KO company called Jiang that took this mold, upscaled it, and basically turned it into a masterpiece figure. And they created what's known as the M01 Commander. Now lots of people have got it, and it's universally recognised as an absolute amazing figure. It's fantastic. Now I wanted to get one, but I was reluctant to get the Optimus version because it's Optimus Prime. I wanted, if I was going to get a version of it, I was hoping and praying that Jiang was going to do that mold in these colours, in the the faded rusty version. They did a battle damaged one, but it's not the same. It's not those colours. So yeah, that didn't actually happen. So I didn't get it. But they did do another repaint that I do like the look of. And yeah, I didn't buy it when it was available and I missed out. So it's all sold out, and I can't get hold of one now. But as luck would have it, one cropped up on eBay from a Chinese seller for a reasonable price, for about just over 80 quid. And yeah, I got the black one. So M01B, and it's got this on. No, I've got the box down here. So obviously it came in the box, right? And it's got this thing on here, this bit here that says Black Apple, and it's got it down there as well, like a little logo that says Black Apple. I don't know what that means. Now sometimes the artwork on these boxes is done by a person, and they give them a credit on the box, say it was done by such and such. I don't know I think that might be what Black Apple means, or maybe Black Apple is just the name for this figure. Maybe that's what the M01B stands for Black Apple. But yeah, so I'm not too sure about that. But anyway, I got this, and he arrived. When did he arrive? He arrived on the 9th. Now, far as I can tell, this thing is as new. There was no tape seals on the box. The box has got some scuffs on it, as though it's been, you know, in storage for some time or on a shelf. It's got shelf wear. But everything was inside. There was the plastic wrappers on everything, and I thought, yeah, this is a brand new figure. It's a gorgeous piece. It's absolutely amazing. The weight, the joints, the chrome, everything on it. The die cast, it's incredible. Everything's just amazing about it. On closer inspection, this one does have a few blemishes in a few places, a few paint blemishes, and there's a piece on the back. Where is it? I don't know whether you can see it. See, there's a little scuff on the plastic there, a little dent on the plastic. So it's got that. Anyway, so it's not perfect, but it's still amazing, and I'm definitely glad that I managed to get it for the price that I did. But I didn't transform it until a couple of days ago. And was it Sunday? Last Sunday just gone. I thought, you know what, I'm going to get the M01 out and transform it. And I should know how to transform it, because it's basically the same transformation as this guy, just with a few bells and whistles. So yeah, started transforming. So where shall I start? I'll start on the legs. So I started transforming the leg. Yeah, so you flip that round, and yeah, so you do that, and then I went to do it to the other leg, and it was really stiff, and I thought, come on, it snapped off. Now, if you look, you can see the peg has actually sheared. There's like a 6mm peg. Come on, work. There's a 6mm peg there that is pinned from the outside of the leg with a metal pin, and it goes through. And this one's very stiff on this side, and obviously I was really upset when this happened, but I wasn't angry. I was looking at it, and actually, when I think about it, there's evidence of glue on this joint. So it looks as though somebody else has broken it before me and then tried to glue it back together in like the robot mode. Now, obviously it's been over a month since I bought this from the guy, and I could complain and ask for my money back, but you know what, I reckon I can fix this, because I just so happen to have some 6mm plastic dowling. And if I can dig out the remains of the broken peg, I can probably glue and pin a new joint in there and fix his leg. So I've already put a screw in there to sort of hold it in place. So it will more or less hold in place. So yeah. Yeah, so amazing figure, and it was definitely on for being my best bot of the month. Unfortunately, because the leg fell off, or the foot fell off, no. I will fix it. I can fix it. It's just a matter of putting a little bit of effort in, and I reckon I'll be able to fix this. But it has reduced my excitement about getting this thing just slightly. It's put a damper on it, but yeah, I've still got one at a decent price. I'm still glad I got it. It's just a pity that the foot broke, and yeah, so that's something I'm gonna have to deal with at a later time. So yep. Right, yeah, that arrived on the 9th. Also on the 9th, my KTRTs arrived. So it was a big day, because I had like a whole massive great bunch of packages arrive, and I was tempted to do, I used to do those unboxing videos a couple of years ago. I was tempted to do an unboxing video for it. Yeah, so Phoenix Black Gold, or Phoenix Turning Mecard Turning Mecard WHG Phoenix Black Gold version. yeah, he arrived. Done a review on him. Amazing colours. It's a great figure. Bit worrying that it's got gold plastic joints on it. So yeah, bit worried about its longevity, but it's a really cool figure. And I got Rocky, Tobot Athlon Season 2 figure. You know, he's big, he's chunky, he's got lots of ratchets. He's actually got a head that turns, which is unusual for a Tobot figure. So yeah, I've got him. He's pretty cool. And then something else. One other thing arrived. Now, I do this thing on a normal work day. I'll get up in the morning, get my kit on, do my ablutions, go downstairs, have a cup of tea, and I will sit down and I will watch 2 episodes of a cartoon show or an anime show. And just lately, I've been watching this Chou, Soku, Henkei, Gyrozetta. Now, I've watched this series a few times before, and I sort of cycle through the series every now and again. I says, oh, I haven't watched that one in a while, so I'll get this out. Yeah, so I've got this show. It's a fairly typical Japanese mecha series. It's set in like the distant future to Yokohama, and they're these kids that are apparently there's this rock that comes. Well, there's this rock called the what's it called? Anyway, it's got some interesting sort of time travel sort of gimmick in it that happens later in the series, and also got the enemy the bad guys use these things called erasers, which are these helmets that people wear, which erases their personality and turns them into sort of like evil fighters. But it's an interesting show, and I've been watching it, and I'm sort of getting towards the end of it now, so I'll be finishing it off next week, because I watch 2 episodes every day, and it's like a 51 episode series. But it's really cool, and I really enjoy watching it, and it kind of made me want to get a toy from the line, at least one toy. Now, they do sort of 2 versions of the toys. They do these sort of bigger figures, which are kind of like, I think they're halfway between a Voyager and a Deluxe. Unfortunately, they are horrendous parts and panel formers. So basically, the robot sort of scrunches down, and then you just put the shell of the car over the top of it, and then it comes off and forms a shield. They're absolutely ridiculous. And they're also rare and horrendously expensive. So I'd like to get one. I'd really like to get Giltis, who he starts off as a bad guy, but then becomes one of the good guys, and he's driven by that guy. Yeah, but there's another mecha in it called Anubia, and they did another toy line. They did some like little Legion class style figures, and I went and got it. Now it's Bandai Mega Mecard. What do I do with the box? Oh, I'll put it away. Mega Mecard, Bandai Mega Mecard 11. Chou, Soku, Henkei, Gyrozetta, Arcadia, Anubia. So it's this white little car, which is, I suppose it's kind of like a Volkswagen Beetle, or it's not a Volkswagen Beetle, it's some like a futuristic looking sports car. And it's pretty cool. Now these things kind of remind me of them Hello Carbot micro figures, very similar to those. Transformation's really easy. So you basically flip the back of the car down like that, pull the legs down, and then bring the arms. It's quite small and fiddly. And there we have Anubia. Come on, there we go. It's kind of like it's got like a fox motif on the head, like like Anubis from Egyptian mythology. It's kind of like got that going on. It's a really cool looking figure. But the toy, it's a massive, great, like a shell former type thing. Very limited articulation, hardly any paint, but it was only about 10 quid, and I've actually got one version of a toy from the line, so that's good enough for me. It's one of the mecha designs that I like, which is Anubia, so I got hold of that. So that was Bandai Mecha Mini Car Series number 11, Chou, Henkei, Gyrozetta, Arcadia, Anubia. It's another one of those like really small figure with like a ridiculously long name. So yeah, I got that, and that was the last of the packages that arrived on the 9th. So yeah, right. So we're up 45 minutes. Let's get through this. Right, next. Been buying parts for my Ultra Magnus restoration, Dual Ultra Magnus restoration. I did an update on the video update on it the other day, and I picked up another waist piece. Unfortunately, this waist piece doesn't fit, but so it was wasted money. I think I paid £2.09 for this. So yeah, got that. And then now next. Then I reminded myself of another figure that I've been after for a while, and it's a Transformers Prime Cyberverse Commander figure. Now I've got the original version of the mold up here, but I wanted the Beast Hunters version, and I am of course referring to Transformers Prime Cyberverse Commander Beast Hunters Ultra Magnus. Now it's a repaint of the Optimus Prime mold, the Cyberverse Commander Optimus Prime mold, but they did a bit of remolding on it, and he comes with a hammer. Now this figure is kind of rare, and when you see it online, it goes for silly amounts of money. And I did an initial search on eBay, and this is what I found. Two guys in the UK, one selling it for 45 quid, and another guy selling it for 100 quid plus £10 postage. Are you kidding me? It ain't worth that. Anyway, so needless to say, bugger eBay. Let's go on to Amazon. I went onto Amazon, and I actually found somebody who was selling one on Amazon for a halfway sensible price. So yeah, I managed to get one off Amazon. So I've been after this guy for a while. It was still quite expensive for what he is, but like I said, I think this is, for whatever reason, this figure's kind of rare, and it does go for, it's scalper bait basically. Anybody gets hold of this, and they think they can charge what they want for it, as you saw with that. There's eBay sellers. It's got a few loose joints. You can't hold the hammer in either arm; it just drops down. So I'm gonna have to work on the ball joints. Pretty cool transformation. Absolutely love the colours on this. It actually looks amazing. It totally nails, the Cyberverse Commander scale for Ultra Magnus. I mean, I've got the other one up there, the RID version, but yeah. So I've got him for a half decent price. Certainly not as expensive as what them others are going for, but yeah, got him. And then, right, moving along, and he arrived on the 10th of May, and then on the 12th, another Studio Series figure. I got me a welly bopper. Yeah, I got me Studio Series Leader Class Blackout. Now, I got Grimlock, and I was quite impressed with him, and obviously I got Stinger as well. He's pretty cool. And I'm quite liking these Studio Series figures. They're really decent. And I might go for Lockdown, possibly get Jazz, and maybe even that Voyager Megatron as well. But at the moment, I decided I was going to go for this guy. Now, the main reason why I wanted to get this guy is because of this. This is the original movie Voyager figure. Now, I hate this thing. It is horrendous. Not least of which because of that. So basically, you pull off like a third of the helicopter mode. I mean, yeah, it's got the rotor gimmick, and it's got the little thing that drops out Scorponok. But that's the robot there, and it's got some automorph transformation crap on it, which doesn't really work that well. I don't like this thing, and I've got two of them. This is actually the one from the Tom Henson bot lot. The one I've got in my collection, I think it's an exclusive. It's the premium Voyager. It's in a different colour to this. It's like a dark blue colour with some extra paint apps. And I didn't realise that until I put it next to this version, which is the regular Voyager. And yeah, blimey, I didn't realise that was a repaint. But yeah, so I don't really care much for this figure. But this, on the other hand, much better. I mean, yeah, okay, it's a bit sort of hollow robot crap underneath, but from the side and any other angle, it looks pretty amazing. It's also got little Scorponok in the back, which you can take out, and yeah, he's got the claws that pop off with the slightest provocation. So you got him, and then you've got the big man himself. 46 steps for the transformation. He is a panel former extraordinaire, but I quite like it, actually. I quite like the way the transformation works on this. I've transformed it backwards and forwards a couple of times, so I kind of know how it works now. You can pop his head up in copter mode, and yeah, it's pretty cool. And you know, I got it for about, I bought it off eBay of somebody for about 56 quid. So I was quite happy with the price I paid for it, considering it's a leader class figure. I have got a bit of a panel issue with these sort of angular panels here on both sides. Don't seem to fit properly, but I think that's a problem on everybody's. Don't know why. They don't seem to peg in, you know, the clearances onto the sides of the legs where they're compressed underneath. There isn't enough clearance for them, or they don't peg in properly, or something like that. But apart from that, he's a good figure, and I'm glad I got him. He's absolutely massive helicopter mode. The robot itself, for a leader class figure, comes up a little bit short, but he has got, you know, chicken legs, and he's got an awful lot of kibble hanging off here, there, and everywhere. But I don't know, it's definitely a massive improvement over the original movie Voyager figure, which is quite frankly an atrocity in plastic. So yeah, I got hold of him. I got me a Willy Bopper, and he arrived on the 12th of May. Now, yeah, because the thing about this month is pretty much everything, all the big stuff arrived in the first 2 weeks, and then the rest of the month it was like, what am I doing now? So yeah, there was that. Now, yeah, moving along, last couple of bits. Now, I went car booting to CJ's at the beginning of the month, and then I looked on my phone. I thought, well, when's the next Stoneleigh car boot sale? And it turns out there was another one on the 20th, Sunday the 20th. Now, I don't think I've been to Stoneleigh since May last year. I think it's been a full year since I last went to CJ's and Stoneleigh, because when I look back through my records, it's like, yeah, May last year, that was when you last went. So yeah, I haven't been to Stoneleigh for a good while. So I went there expecting to, it was a good day, so I was expecting there to find, the place being kind of busy. They have these sort of like exhibition halls at the National Agricultural and Exhibition Centre, these like small exhibition halls on one side, and then you've got like a hard standing area, and then the other side you've got what I refer to as the cattle sheds, which is because obviously they used to hold the Town and Country Festival and the Royal Show there, and they used to do these big agricultural shows, and they have these massive, great, covered sheds where they used to, display the livestock, and they've all been cleaned out and they hold the car boot sale in there. And there's another smaller sort of exhibition hall which is just up the ways. I come round, and the two main exhibition halls that they usually have the car boot sale in were closed for that day. I couldn't figure out why. There was a bunch of sellers in the middle of the hard standing area, but there was a few sellers in the cow sheds, but they were mainly in the other small exhibition hall, which was a bit further up. So I went in there and start walking around, and I saw a few bits. I saw where is it? Yeah, I saw another one of these there. Somebody had one of these on their store, but obviously I've already got one, so I didn't need to buy that. And also Chomp and Stomp Grimlock. I saw a Chomp and Stomp Grimlock there with missing his tail. But no, again, I've got a Chomp and Stomp Grimlock, so I don't need one of those. As I was carrying on round, I come round one aisle and I spied this table full of Transformers, and I thought, oh, we're in here. And then as I walked up, this guy pointed at me and says, I know you. You're on YouTube, aren't you? Yeah. Obviously, this happened.
All right, guys. Yeah, I'm out at car booting sale today. 2 weeks after I went to CJ's. It's my first Stoneleigh of the year. I've not been to this car boot sale for a while because I come here because I usually find bits and pieces. And I found a man who's got a table full of stuff. What's your name, mate?
My name's Max.
This is Max. Apparently he's a collector and he's watched some of my stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
So yeah, so as you can see, he's got quite a few morsels here of interest, and some stuff in the box down the bottom. So let's have a look.
Yeah, so there was this guy there called Max, and he is or was a collector, and he's selling up because obviously he needs to raise some money for other financial. He needs to raise some money for other things, and he's decided to give up his Transformer collection and sell them off. And he had a big table full. He had some Power Rangers toys on the back as well. And he basically, I thought, wow, I know I had a bundle of cash in my pocket, and I thought, okay, let's get started. So I had a bit of a natter with Max about a couple of things. He said he'd watched my the videos I did recently on those KO gun bots from B&M Home Stores. He said he'd watched those videos. So if you're a subscriber or you're watching this video, Max, put a comment down below to make it clear that you've actually watched this video, and I'm giving you a shout out. So yeah, I had a good little chat with him for about 15-20 minutes. And I'm sorry, Max, I didn't get more footage of you or the stall. I only took 2 short clips, as you've just seen. I've put them together. But anyway, he had a bunch of stuff, and I was looking around, and I thought, right, what can I buy here? And there was 2 bots that jumped out at me straight away. Transformers Prime Ratchet, Transformers Animated Jazz. They were both in vehicle mode, and I've kind of been after these guys for a while. And Max said to me that he was selling the deluxe figures for £4 each, but he did me a deal. He cut me a deal and said he'd sell them to me for £3 each, which was nice. So yeah, I got Jazz and Ratchet, and then I carried on looking round, and I saw another figure, and I thought, you know what, I wouldn't mind that one. I've seen that one before. Transformers movie Salvage. Now, I have seen this guy before, and I almost bought one previously. I think I saw it at an NEC Toy Fair a couple of years ago, but it was incomplete. It was in a big box full of bots, and there were some parts missing, so it wouldn't fully transform into the vehicle mode, so I give it a miss. But this one, as you can see, is fully intact, and I love the vehicle mode on this. It's like a modern sort of pimped out 2000s like American style pickup truck. It's got the big grille with the lights. It's been lowered. You know, the wheels fill out the arches. It's got big alloy wheels on it. It's got a little spoiler on the back, tinted windows. It's just really cool. And it's got the weapon on the back, which turns into like a crushing claw thing. And then it's got like a truck bed with a working tailgate. It's a brilliant little figure. He transformed it for me initially because obviously I didn't know my way around it, and the transformation looked kind of complex. And since when I got it home, I've transformed it back a couple of times, and actually this thing's really good. It's got kind of like a bronzy coloured plastic, which may be gold plastic, but I mean this thing's over 10 years old now, and the plastic's held up, so it should be safe. It's got a pretty neat transformation. It's got that typical movie aesthetic. It's got sort of kibble hanging off the back and the shoulders, and it's got like chicken legs. But it's a really cool bot, and I really like this. And cheers Max for showing me this thing. I really love it. I mean, it's got like this kind of an automorph. When you open these panels here, the doors open because they're spring loaded. So that's pretty cool. But he's got a really decent bot mode, and I really like that, so I got him as well. And then I could have bought a number of more bots. I still had quite a bit of cash left, but I thought, well, I only get a couple more. And so he had some instructions, books for some of the figures, and he had a route through, and he said, oh, I've only got 2 for these figures. And so I got Dark of the Moon Deluxe Topspin. Now, he got the instructions for it. Now, the funny thing is, this is... Oh, fuck me, this video's gone over an hour. Whoops. Sorry. I said it was going to be a long one. Yeah, so this guy is... Yeah, he's a figure that I've had before. I got one of these in the Tom Henson bot lot, but I decided I didn't want it. I wasn't that interested in it initially, so I put it out for sale at TF Nation in 2016 when I did that thing on the Max and Me Love Toys stall. They invited me to help come on their stall, and I sold a bunch of my bots on the stall, and this is one of the bots that I sold. So yeah, I got rid of it, but since then I've sort of changed my mind and I wanted to get one back, so he had one for £3. It has got a number of very loose joints, and when you try to transform it, it basically falls to pieces because all the ball joints are worn. It just falls apart. There are ways and means of fixing ball joints, of course. We all know that, so do that. And I've got the KO Leadfoot version, and I'd like to get the Roadbuster. Deluxe Roadbuster. Unfortunately, the Deluxe Roadbuster hasn't got the Stealth Force, sort of weaponry sticking out of it. It's just a plain NASCAR figure, which is annoying. And it made me look into the other Dark of the Moon Wrecker toys that they'd made. Obviously, they did the Human Alliance ones, they did the Legion class ones, and they did the Deluxes. And in the Human Alliance, they did Leadfoot, who I've got, who again turns into a plain NASCAR. They did Roadbuster, who turns into, a Stealth Force car, and he looks really cool, and I'm really tempted to get hold of him. But they didn't do a Human Alliance version of this guy for some reason. And in the Legion classes, they did 3 versions of the Legion class. Again, 2 of them are Stealth Force, and the other one's a NASCAR. So it was weird. You can't get a set of these figures, looking like this with the guns and that sticking out, which is unfortunate. But I think there's a third-party company that's going to address in the balance that's doing them. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, so yeah, I got that of him. And one other thing that I got, it also came with instructions, was Sideways. I got him. I mainly bought this for the alt mode because, it's an Audi R8. So it totally is. Robot mode's okay. It's a bit weird. It's got some loose joints on it, but apart from that, it's not too bad. So yeah, I got hold of him. So yeah, I did very well at at Stoneleigh car boot sale, mainly thanks to Max. So cheers, Max. And it was the first time ever where I've been out and about in a public place and someone's recognised me as being a YouTuber, and it was kind of nice. So thanks, Max. Obviously, you know, talk to me in the comments. You know, if you've watched this video and enjoyed the shout out I give you, and have to hook up sometime, perhaps, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I went to the car boot sale, did really well, bought a bunch of bots off somebody who recognised me off YouTube. So there, so that's all the plastic. Just a few, well, that's all the figures. Just a few bits that arrived. Like I said in my thingy video, I did, you know, my Ultra Magnus video. The other day I bought a bunch of parts, 9 parts in total, got an instructions manual, got another chest and a head, and then I got a bunch of white plastic pieces, including a waist piece that actually fits, a bunch of fists and 2 missile launchers. So yeah, I've pretty much got all the pieces I need now for my Ultra Magnus restoration, apart from one of the big fists. But strangely enough, that very night after I did that video, there was one on eBay which finished at about was it 20 past 11, and I bid on it and I've won it. So I've got the final pieces on its way. So I've got all the pieces now. I've got a few pieces left over, and so if anybody out there is after some Ultra Magnus pieces, let me know, and I've got some spares which I'll be willing to pass on to other people who are trying to do the same as what I'm doing and restore a beaten up old G1 Ultra Magnus. But that is that. 24 items, and I didn't spend all my money. I still had about 70 quid left in the kitty, so yeah, it was an amazing month, and all this, the majority of this stuff arrived in the first 2 weeks, so it was absolutely fantastic. So now I do this thing this year where I do the first and worst. Now I was going to have obviously that Black M01 as my first figure until the foot fell off. So who else would I like to have as my #1 figure I got this month? Okay, and then the worst figure. Where has it gone? Okay, right, I'm ready. First and worst. Now, when I say worst, I don't mean that this is a particularly bad figure, or I don't really hate it. It's just that it has got issues, but I just like it. Don't like it as much as the other things that I bought this month. That's why it's the worst thing that I've got. I mean, it's sort of a toss up between this and that cycle, to be honest. But I think this guy, I really like. Knight. He's absolutely amazing. He's a brilliant little figure, and he's my top bot of the month. So that is that. Yeah, this video's got way over an hour. I said it was going to be a long one. There was a lot of things I wanted to fit into it. Yeah, so that's that. If you've watched this video to the end, then thank you very much. Yeah, I've been TFR Wilderness. This has been my bot haul for May, and do it all again next month. So thanks for watching. Look out for the photo gallery that's coming. I've been TFR Wilderness. I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da.